Francis Drake is a worker placement exploration historically themed Eurogame by Eagle-Gryphon Games for 3 to 5 players, but there is a 2-player variant created by the designer and available on Board Game Geek. In Francis Drake, you hire a crew, upgrade and outfit the ships with cannons, and load it with goods before setting sail to plunder, trade, and wreak havoc on the Spanish Main. But why would you do that, you ask? Because you are Francis freaking Drake. That's why. The Spanish called him El Draco, or the Dragon, because he would fly in and out of the air, decimate a galleon, a city, or a fort, and then disappear as quickly as he came. Francis Drake is played in 3 rounds of 2 phases. The first phase is the supplies phase. As a newly minted captain, you and the others are walking through the shops and stopping to pick up supplies before you set sail. But there is a catch. You cannot go back to a shop you already passed, and there is only enough goods as the number of available spots on each tile. The first tile we see is the crew tile. As you walk through the shops, you start at these ships and move along the path. As you move up past the Admiral, you move to trade goods and beyond, all the way over here to the dock side. But let's say we start here for conversation's sake. The first tile we see is the crew tile. The first person here gets 2 crew for his ship, or 1 crew and 1 crew respectively. Alright, as we can see here, yellow goes first. So let's say that yellow goes ahead and claims this first spot here, claiming 2 crew. In which case, you would go over here to the harbor and grab 2 of these gray tokens as your 2 crew. They would go on your personal mat here in the crew spot right there. Next is the green player. The green player has an option. He grabs one of his pieces. He has an option. He can either go to the same crew spot and get 2 crew, or he can skip and go to the shipyard. At the shipyard, you will get 1 cannon and upgrade to a galleon, and the second spot is going right to a galleon. But you know what? He isn't interested in a galleon right now. He's thinking the only way to win a war is with guns. So he goes here to grab 2 cannons. So we head over here and grab 2 cannons from Plymouth Harbor. So green gets 2 cannons, and they go right there. Alright, now that yellow and green have gone, it is blue's turn. So blue grabs their token, and they can decide whether to do 2 crew, upgrade to a galleon, or get supplies. Well, as we'll find out later, you use supplies to be able to go from the start over here to the purple zone, to the yellow zone, and to the red zone. Requires 4 supplies to get to the red, and only 1 to get to green, and then additive all the way across the map. So, blue says, you know what, this game is really all about trade and being able to explore. You know what, I'm going to jump ahead, and I'm going to go up here and grab 4 of these supplies so I don't have to worry about it again. So we head back over here to Plymouth Harbor Supplies, go ahead and grab 4 of these guys. So blue scores 4 supplies. All right. Well, it is now red's turn as we look at the turn tracker. So red goes ahead and grabs one of their tokens. There we are. And they have the exact same question. We can go with 2 crew, upgrade to a galleon, plus get a gun. Go for guns, go for supplies, or you could go up here to the Queen and beyond. The Queen's cool because she upgrades you to a galleon, plus you can go ahead and get a cannon, and you can go ahead and get a trade supplies, I believe is what they're called. Allows you to trade with these items here, here, and here. But I tell you what, this guy's going to play it close, or conservatively. He's going to go ahead and grab 2 crew. So red grabs 2 crew, which are these gray guys here. So red gets 2 crew. We go ahead and put that there. Okay, now we go back to the start of the turn order, which is yellow. Yellow grabs one of their items here. I'm sorry, not a cube, but a little circle. And they go ahead and look at the tracker again. Well, since they did crew, they can't double down on crew. You can only have 1 token per card. So they move to the next one. Do they want to do shipyard, or guns, or supplies, or queen and beyond? Well, they were looking at the shipyard, but honestly, the queen is right ahead of blue, so they're going to go ahead and do that. That lets them upgrade to a galleon. So you take your galleon ship that you have in waiting, and you replace your ship with that bigger ship. Now that galleon, as we will find out later, allows you to attack the Spanish galleons there, there, and there, which gives you rubies ultimately. So with him getting that, what else did he get for the queen? I believe he got a cannon and a trade supply. Yeah. Last place they went is to get guns, so they have to travel further down the timeline here. Well, since they have guns, they know that they're going to have to travel the main, so they go ahead and grab supplies. So again, you grab 2 from the Plymouth Harbor, and you put it in your ship's stock. All right, blue's up next. What does blue do? The last place blue went was to grab supplies. They're really hoping for queen, but that's no longer available. They can go to the tavern and get a random amount of crew, or they can go right to the admiral. The admiral lets you look at the random bonuses on each of the ships. Since blue can travel anywhere, and that's all they have right now, they probably want to get crew. So they're going to go ahead and go there. And what you do is you roll a die. Excuse me. Let's go ahead and roll a die. Ooh, it was only a 1. Now, since we were the first ones there, we get to add a 1 to it. But as you can see, that still means you only get a ghost ship. But what's cool about the ghost ship, which is this piece here, is it gives you another token that you can put out there as a ship, which lets you fake other people out. Later, you're going to place these down in different locations, face down, so people don't know what number you have there. The lower the number is the person who's the first able to raid there. This basically counts as a dummy token or a decoy that doesn't actually count for gaining any place. So they get that there. It is now red's turn. So red will grab one of their shopping tokens here. And the last place they went was crew, so they can really go anywhere they want to go. Red has crew, but no supplies. There's only a single left at the supply shop. So I think they will go ahead and go to the shipyard. They will upgrade themselves to a galleon, giving them the ability to attack Spanish galleons, and they get a cannon. Okay. Now we start the whole order over again. So yellow goes first. Yellow grabs one of their tokens. The last place they went was the queen, which means they need to keep moving on from there. They can go to the tavern, get a random amount of people, either 2 or 3. Right now, yellow has 2 crews. They're actually a little bit crew heavy. So they're actually going to leave that there for now. They don't have... Oh, they do have a galleon. Okay. Well, in that case, they're very interested in the admiral. So they'll go ahead and put that there. And over here at Plymouth Harbor, you can see there's an admiral token here. Yellow will go ahead and grab that and put it right on their map. Okay, green goes. Last place green went was supplies. So queen is taken. They can go to the tavern. They don't have any crew, so that's actually pretty smart. So they're going to go here and just take the die roll, whatever that is. So go ahead and take this die, roll it. Wow, second one. Maybe this die is weighted in a way. Either way, they roll a 1. So they get a ghost ship as well. So green gets their ghost ship, which is this guy. Go ahead and put that there. All right, what else do we have? Blue goes. So blue, grab your token. They went to the tavern last, so you know what? Blue has been doubling down on goods, it looks like. Yeah, let's go ahead and go to trade goods. So they grab 2 of these purple tokens. I think they're hoping to dominate the trade goods market. Last place red went was shipyard. They've been playing very conservatively so as to give themselves plenty of room to move out. They go to the shipyard, upgrade to a galleon, which they've already done actually. They could go to guns. They already have 1 gun and 2 crew. What they don't have is supplies. So they have to do that if they want to be able to go anywhere on the board. So they go ahead and do that and grab a supply, continuing to play very conservatively. But that is one way to play the game. All right, starting back over in turn order, yellow goes first. So what they probably want are cannons. The next place to grab a cannon is Drake, it looks like. You can get 2 crew and 2 cannons under Drake. Or you can go one further and just go after guns. But I think they will do that. So they're going to go after Drake. And they are going to grab 2 crew and 2 cannons. Let's go over here. 2 crew, 2 cannons, and that goes to yellow. So 2 cannons, 2 crew. What is green going to do? They need crew. They have no crew, so they're going to go up here and grab 2 crew. So 2 grain tokens over to them. Okay, who's next? It is blue's turn. Blue currently has... Oh, they're going heavy in the trading market. So they can go to all 4 zones because they have 4 supplies. And they have 2 trading goods. So it looks like they're going to go trading heavy. The last place they've gone is the trade goods tile. Well, they probably want to do some amount of attacking because right now they have 0 crew and 0 cannons. And as we know, or you're going to find out, is that you get bonus points for attacking things. So let's go ahead and get some crew, because this is the last time you're going to be able to get crew. So they go ahead and go here and get a crew token. Just a single one there. Okay, so now it's red's turn. Red grabs a token, and they've been playing very conservatively. So they have a lot of places they can go, however, they're all filled up. If you look at that from the red place on, going this way, filled, 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 filled. They can get trade goods. They have 1 trade good already. But you know what they really need? They need supplies. They have no supplies right now. So looking ahead, the next place you can get supplies is that supplies token. Man, they could jump really far ahead there, grab that. So they're going to go ahead and do that, which is perhaps absolutely crazy, but they're doing it. So they get 3 supplies for that very risky move there. Okay, and one more round. All right, one thing I forgot to mention is that Drake actually costs 2 discs to go to, basically taking up 2 turns. The first one gives you 2 of each type of resource, 2 crew, 2 guns, and then 1 bonus one of either category. But again, it takes up 2 turns. So we start back at the top. Yellow has gone, again, by going to Drake. Listening to stories, it basically spends an extra turn. However, green then takes their turn. Green grabs a token. The last place they win is crew. Drake is taken. So the Pinace is the next place he can go. The cool thing about that one is that lets you attack a let's see, a fort without needing cannons. It's basically like you have this little longboat and you're, rowing up to the shore without being seen. Thus, the cannons don't take effect. Green has 2 crew, so they're probably not going to be doing much of that unless they can get a lot more crew. Instead, if they went for guns, they could attack more galleons. However, let's see. Yeah, the nearest galleons are in the Yellow Ocean, and they only have... better show you here. They have... Alright, so this galleon here is in the yellow. This galleon up here is in the yellow. This galleon's here in the red of the Spanish Main. Green only has... what do you call that? 2 supplies. So they're only actually able to get here and here, and they can't get here or here. So green really could only get to purple, which means he can't attack any ships right now. So he may want to actually look at getting more supplies or increasing something else. He really doesn't have a whole lot of options. Let's see, he's green, so last place he went is crew, so maybe he wants to go for, maybe he does want to go for supplies or crew, but there's no more crew left. So he's a bit out of luck. So, tell you what he's going to do. He's going to go over here to the Panace, grab a crew, and grab the ship token here that entitles him to do what we just talked about. So he grabs those 2 items, and it is on to Blue's turn. Blue, looking at their items, they, go ahead and zoom out so you guys can see, they have the option, because here they can go to all 4 areas of the Spanish Main, as well as they can trade, but they only have 1 crew member, so they can't exactly do much. They probably want to grab some crew member. They probably want to get some guns so they can attack some items. Yeah, so let's get some guns. So we'll go up here, go there, grab ourselves 2 guns. So this guy gets 2 cannons. All right, and then red takes their turn. Now they were so aggressive last turn. Probably regretting it right about now. They've already been to the supplies, so the only place next is the Golden Hind, which gives you a 5th token to do whatever you want with. Then you have the investor tile. The investor tile, everyone starts out with 1. Once you spend it, you're done with that. It also costs you 4 points. That's why everyone starts out at 4 on the track. But they'll go ahead and grab the Golden Hind. What that does, that gives them this 5th token. So it's somewhat advantageous to have an extra token sitting out there that's actually functional, as opposed to the ghost ship. Okay, so now back to the top of the order. Yellow goes, grabs one of their circular discs. Last place they went is Drake, so they have a little bit of room that they can play with. They also have a lot of crew, a lot of cannons, and they can travel up to 3 in. So they're sitting pretty good right now. So they go ahead and grab this. You know, they could just go on a raid against all of the galleons. So we'll do that. They go here and they grab 2 more cannons. Add that to their list of 6. Okay, so then it's, that was yellow. So it is green's turn. Green takes another disc. Last place they went is the Panace, or whatever it's called. They have 3 crew, 2 supplies, 2 cannons, the Panace. They can go over to the Informer. The Informer is another special tile that allows you to, oops, getting my cords in the way here. Panace is another one that gives you a trade good offhand, but also allows you to look at stacks, I believe 2 of them, and then move your tiles to a different stack. if you know that you aren't going to win the first time around, and thus you won't get the ruby or the gold or the silver, which can be very beneficial. So maybe we'll go ahead and do that. So we go there, we get a trade good for that, which we didn't have before. So that was very good for green. Then he also gets the informer tile over here. So he goes ahead and puts that right here. Okay. Now it is blue's turn. What does blue want to do? Last place blue has been is guns. Informer's done. Supplies is open, but they already have 4. And you discard all of your items at the end of the round, so it doesn't make sense to go there. Golden Hind is done. Investor, you only have 1 of those per game. Just doing a quick check. They're probably pretty good. He only has 2 cannons. So he's kind of got a rough situation going on here. You know what? I think we just call it good. We go over here to the dock side, which is the... Look, it's the dock side. It's the last place you can go before you come out and get ready for sailing. Good part is that puts him as first to sail, which gives him the first option of placing tokens. Also, when you go here, you get to choose whether you want to supply a crew or a cannon. So, looking at what they have, they could really double down on... man, but they have the 4 supplies. I was thinking they could double down on trade goods and get all their trading out of the way right out of the gate. And maybe that's what they'll do. Yeah. So they're going to grab a trade good. Actually, you know what? A trade good isn't one of the items you can grab. So that doesn't do him any good. He knows he can't grab supplies because he's already maxed out there. So it's either a crew or a cannon. He only has 1 crew right now, but another cannon would let him attack more things. So we'll grab a cannon. So we'll put that there. All right. So that was blue. And what you do is you take the blue ship and you put it right there on the 1 spot. All right. Who's next? It is red's turn. Red, last place they went was the Golden Hind. They can go to the Investor, but again, you only get 1 of those per game. So they're going to go ahead and skip that as well. Go here, whoops, and finish out their stuff as well. Let's see. They have... they have 2 crew, 1 cannon, an extra card. They're not going to be able to trade it all this round, but by having that extra crew, that might be useful. So they're going to grab another crew, ending with 3 crew. So they go over here to space 2. All right, back to the top of the line. Yellow goes again. Last place yellow went was guns. So what is further down the line? They could grab supplies or investor or dockside. Okay, yellow has tons of crew, tons of guns, 3 supplies, and a trade good. Man, with that many guns, they're just going to be able to clean up. So maybe if they go with supplies, they can go further out and have unfettered access. So they're going to do that. So they grab 2 more barrels, extending the reach across the Spanish Main. Excuse me. Green's turn. Green, last place they went, is the Informer. And they could grab another supply, which they have 2. A third one would let them extend out, give them a few more options. You know what? Let's go ahead and do that. They go there. Grab a supply. All right. And blue and red are already done. So back to the top of the order. All right, yellow goes again. So yellow's looking at where they last went, which was supplies. So they can go to investor or dockside, not dark side. I feel like I'm a Bostonian. Dockside. All right, so yellow goes there, and yellow gets to determine what they want. They have 6 cannons. Why end a good thing? So they grab another cannon. All right. Since they went there, we grab their ship. And it goes right there for 3. All right. Green's turn. Green last went for supplies, so they can go to investor or end things. They're going to end things. They can go 3 deep in. Let's go over here to the dock side. They can go 3 deep in right now on the main. They have 3 crew and 2 cannons. Let's go ahead and give them another crew to diversify. So they grab a crew, and their ship moves over here, and we are ready to sail. That is the end of phase 1 of round 1. So let's go ahead and go into phase 2, and then it pretty much repeats. So let's hop into phase 2 now. All right, so after the entire table has been set up, or rather the supplies phase is completed, and the table is set up with jewels in the appropriate location, the galleons were flipped over to begin with, so everyone knew which, how many cannons were in each tile. So we have 2 there, 3 there, let's see, 1 up there. Move this die out of the way. Each player has been constructing their little zone right here. To the left, you also see the I guess the ship tokens. It lets you know you're allowed 4 travels, essentially, on your ship during a given shipping round. You also have your ghost ship, if you were able to pick that up, and then the golden hind is over here. Now this player didn't actually pick this up, so we put this away for now. We also put away the galleon or frigate that went unused, so that goes away. Let's see. These shopping tokens or supplies phase tokens go away. And then you have these 4 tokens, these 4, and if you picked up, you know, either of the other 2, and then of course your supplies. You use this guy, this little token, to determine how far you can move. So we have 4 supplies here. So as I was talking about before, you can actually look at these going from right to left. So this would be if you have 1 supply. This is for 2, this is for 3, and this is for 4. So we go ahead and put this right up there since we have 4 for blue. Looking at green, we have 3, so we grab one of these and we go 1, 2, 3. Okay. For red, we have, whoops, did we lose them? We have 1, it feels like, yep. 1 of those. So they grab one of these and it goes there under the green section. For yellow, we have 5, but of course the max you can ever have is 4, so this guy joins over there. Now, just looking at the board, you can see red can only go in the green portion. Green can go red, purple, or yellow, and yellow and blue have the full range throughout the Spanish Main that they can travel. Okay, so now we look at the special abilities. Yellow picked up the Admiral. What the Admiral is able to do is that they are able to grab the 3 tokens over here for bonus secret powers for each of the galleons, and secretly look at those and place those in place. Only they are aware of the hidden powers. Only when people attack them do they realize what they are. So if we were in the yellow person's mind, we would see we have a 1, we have a 2, and we have a blank. So, knowing that yellow can go the full distance, so can blue, and blue actually has 3 cannons. 3 is up there with 8, Now we have 7 cannons, so we are fully aware that we could attack that even at full strength. Knowing that this guy can only attack with 3, anything more than a 0 would pretty much defeat the Elizabeth. So we go ahead and put the 2 up there, face down of course, so no one else is aware of it. Then we're able to place the other 2. Again, knowing that the Elizabeth can only handle a strength of 3, and when they essentially attack a cannon galleon, they have to discard those. We know that we could attack, let's see, this is a 1. We could put this 1 with this guy, so if the Elizabeth attacks, they would have to discard all of their items. And then finally, the 0, we're going to put up here with the 1 in the hopes that no one goes for that. So, that is the Admiral. Blue is first player, so they get to go first. So, you're supposed to shuffle these up. You don't have to do them in order, but I'm going to go ahead and play them face up for you. So, 3 is the first guy that he goes. Actually, you know what? He is a trader through and through. Not a traitor, but a trader. They are going to want to go up here to trade. Also, it's important to note, and I don't know if you're fully aware of this, probably aren't, but there are only 3 trade spots. You can only ever go to 1 each per round. But there's only 1 place for indigo. As you can see in this first location here in San Juan, you have coffee, tobacco, and indigo. In Santo Domingo, you have sugar and tobacco. And in Santiago de Cuba, you have coffee and sugar. So, knowing that indigo is extremely rare, there's only ever going to be 3 of them the entire game, you might want to go there to pick up that resource. Also important is up here on the left where it actually describes the scoring that you're going to get for that. So if you look right there, right beyond this little chocolate galleon, if you will, you can see that if you get a single resource, it's only worth 1. Is worth 2 victory points. If you get 2 different resources, it's worth 8 victory points. 3 is worth 16, and 4 is worth 26. And of course, they even show you that indigo is the rarest of the rare because it only appears in the 4. So you probably want to go for that indigo. It's also important to note that there is the Golden Hind token that red has actually counts as a 0. So they immediately win no matter what, wherever this is placed. But blue doesn't have that, but they're really going to try anyway, so they're going to place this 1 down right here in San Juan in the hopes that they can gain that area. Okay, so then red goes second. Red has no trading resources, so they're not going to be able to do a whole lot. Let's see. They do have 3 crew and 1 cannon. Makes you really wonder what they were doing on their turns when they were getting supplies. So, knowing that they're probably best at sacking cities, let's see. So, this is a city right here, Puerto Cabello. And also, by the way, this is the furthest that red can go, as we can see by that token. What you can see is it's worth 1 point for sacking it. You also get this silver if you're the first to sack it, so you have the lowest numbered token there. And you can see that there are, that's the silver there. You can see that there's 1 person there. One person there. So it's going to cost you 1 person if you want to attack that place. Now this will give you 6 victory points. You'll also get a silver, but it costs you 2 cannons and a randomized troops, which should have been placed already. So let's go ahead and place those troops right now. So here are the troops. 1 goes there. 1 goes there. And whoops, 1 goes there. It's 3, 3, and 3. Oh, no, I'm sorry. There was a 4th one there. Okay. So that is those defenses. So we don't actually know what goes there, but we know that red has a lot of troops, but not many cannons. So they couldn't go to Cartagena because they only actually have one cannon. So they know they couldn't defeat that. Unless they had the longboat, which unfortunately they do not. They know that they can go to Porta Cabello and attack that, but they also don't have many trading items either. So they're really limited in this game. So they have to be the first ones here. So they're going to go ahead and place their Golden Hind there to try and get that. Okay, so that was blue, that was red. What about yellow? All right, so yellow has pretty much their standard 4. Pushing things out of the way. They do have 4 crew. They can sail the entire Spanish Main. They're good at trading. And they also have 4 crew. So they probably want to go all the way up here. They also have the Admiral, so they are fully well aware that they could take out that big ship up there that's worth 8. However, they also probably realize that green isn't going to try and contest them on that, because green can't even go that far. Blue can go the furthest, but blue went to trade first. So what they can do is they're going to go down here and assume that blue thinks that you already stacked the deck against them on 8. So yellow will go there, and then it is green's turn to go. Green grabs one of their tokens, doesn't matter which. They're actually going to use their ghost token to fake some people out. So they have 2. Let's see. Yeah, they have 2 cannon and 4 crew. So they're actually going to mislead people and send them up here, making people think that they're going to do a run for the galleons. Green kind of has a suspicion that yellow is trying to win the galleon fight with that many cannons. So that happens, and then we go right back to blue. Alright, so I went ahead and fast-forwarded a bit so you didn't have to watch all the gory details of me trying to make up decisions of made-up players. But, as you can see, the tiles are stacked where multiple players went. Reason for that is that it shows order of precedence, so if there is a tie, the first player who went there got it first. However, if you recall, we were looking at the Informer character there and what they do. So now the green player gets to go through these stacks and determine if they want to move away. And as you can see, the green is actually sitting on a couple of these stacks, so they would be quite interested to see where they could win. So I'll go ahead and get through that, and then we will hop back and see how this plays out. Alright, so the green player didn't really do much. They looked at a couple of the stacks and decided they were pretty happy where they were at. So not a lot changed here, but they could have maybe done, something that would allow them to, get 3 of the 4 stacks they are on. Okay, so now that that is over, we start to resolve the placements. So let's do that now. Alright, so what happens now is we start to flip over all of these tiles so we can actually see an order of events or stops along the journey. So each of these flip over with their number exposed. Here we see these flip over like that. And since there's 2 of them, you can see it goes 1 and then 4. Flip them over, 1 and then 3. Kind of goes there. Aha, ghost ship, which means that kind of goes off. This guy goes up here. 3 and ghost ship. Alright, I do believe that is all of them. Okay, so what happens now is that the ships leave the harbor. So red goes first since they had the Golden Hind. So this galleon here goes all the way down here to that port, and they need to discard one crew to get 1 point. So that is red. Red's right in front of me. They discard one crew, goes back there, and they score 1 point. Also, since they attacked a city, over here you have a tracker that indicates whether you attacked a city, a fort, or a galleon. So red moves down here. As you can see this round, depending on the number of items that they attacked of different categories, they get a number of points. 10 if you attack one of each, 1 if you attack only one of them, and 4 points if you attack 2. Okay, so now we really begin in player order. Blue was first, so blue goes to their first spot. Go ahead and move him there to San Juan. Red moves to their first spot, and in fact, this is the only place they visited. So they actually return here. Since they are the first player back, they get 2 points for being back and having successfully attacked something. So they get 2 points there. All right, yellow goes to their first spot, and green goes to their first spot, which is right there. Okay, so in order, blue goes first. Actually, it doesn't matter at this point. All players pretty much go at the same time. So blue knows that he wants this indigo pretty bad. That was the whole point of going there. So he grabs that indigo, puts it here, discards one of these purple tokens. Back to Plymouth. Yellow goes, and they know that to attack here and get that ruby, it's going to take 3 cannons. So yellow discards 3 of their cannons. Okay, which gives them this jewel that they then put in their chest. It also gives them 6 victory points. So up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, they go to 10. Yeah, this is a huge game board, folks. All right, so that was yellow. Green then goes. Green over here, they were going to trade. So we take their purple token, replace that to Plymouth, and they take whatever item they want. So coffee's available in the first. You know what? Later on, if they want indigo, they probably don't want to deal with coffee. So let's go ahead and grab that coffee. Okay, that was all of their firsts. So removing those tokens. Actually, I'm sorry. We also need to record that yellow attacked a galleon. And then other than that, it was all trading. All right, so the ships moved on to their second stop. You can see green and yellow moved on to theirs. Blue didn't actually put a number 2 stop out there. They only put a number 1 out there, which is kind of weird, but we'll roll with it. So green takes on their number 2 spot, where they are attacking this fort. So it calls for a cannon and nothing else. So, I'm sorry, a cannon and 2 crew. So, green discards 2 crew, and a cannon. Cannon, 2 crew, and they were successful, so they get 5 points. They also get that guy. So let's move them 5 points. That goes there. Okay. They also get this gold, and that goes in their treasure chest. Okay. Now, yellow goes. Yellow is attacking that galleon up there. Well, there's not really a whole lot of mystery here. They know that they had stacked it pretty difficult, so it's going to cost 5 cannons for yellow. The fools, oh no. They miscalculated, and they only have 4 cannons, so they are unable to defeat this, despite having the admiral. Sometimes the math doesn't work out, folks. So they actually, they don't get defeated or anything. They just simply don't attack. They also don't get the points for defeating it. So we move on to our number 3s now. Toot, toot, toot. Okay, so blue is going to trade again. So they're going to use their trade token here. That goes there. Weird, my math is wrong all over the place. Okay, so what do they want to grab? They are going to grab a... Tobacco's available in the first one. They already have indigo, so maybe they should go for sugar. So they're going to do that. They grab a sugar, doot, grab that guy. So this ship spot returns. Then yellow attacks again. We know that that's cheap, so it costs 1 cannon. Discard the cannon. They're able to get this ruby, which is very nice. And they've already done the galleon, so they don't get any bonus points for that, unfortunately. And then green goes. Green is here on... I'm sorry, they are attacking this frigate here, and we know it costs 3. Someone already has defeated it, but that's weird. They only have 1 cannon left, so there's no way they could defeat it anyway. So, green will go ahead and discard that. All right, so now we move on to the number 4 spots. Green goes over here to Cartagena. Blue goes over here to Santiago de Cuba. And yellow capsizes and then goes over here to Panama. Right there. Whoop, they're sailing away. All right, so let's go ahead and do yellow first since I already have the camera there. So we know that it's 1 cannon and it's going to be 2 crew, as you can indicate there. So 2 crew, doot, and 1 cannon. Doot. And they get this silver. It's the most transparent silver I've ever seen. And since they defeated a... Panama is a fort, yellow goes down there. And let's move on to green, since it happens to be right there. This flips over, and you can see it's 0 plus 2 of those. So green needs to discard 2 crew members and 2 cannon in order to successfully defeat it. We go over here. Oh, they only have 1 cannon. Oh no, I'm sorry. I am sorry. They have this guy, so they don't need to deal. This was the Penance, or whatever it's called. They don't need cannons for this run. So it's really just 2 crew member. And they were able to do that. So green defeated it. They get 6 points and this silver. Plus it is a fort. Green already defeated a fort, so green goes up here by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow, green's on fire. All right, so then turn this guy back to green. Blue goes, and blue requires a trade good, which they do not have. They miscalculated as well. They only had the 2. So this is returned. They're unable to trade, and that's that. Now, at any time, any of these folks could have decided not to do these actions and returned early, even if they did have these tokens out there, but they decided to see it through. So instead, now we go back in order. So blue would go back first. Ding. Now blue having... They did not defeat any of these, so they don't get that bonus victory point on the homeward bound location that you can kind of see up there at the top. Then yellow goes back, and then green. And that is the new buying order. The track marker moves up. The entire board is reset, including discarding these previously shown cards. New jewels are put back out there, and a new round of purchasing and plundering are done again. The major ways to score victory points, of course. Oh, I'm sorry. We didn't do the end of round types of conquest. So as you can see, yellow had 2 spots here, so they would get 4 points. Green only had the 1, so they would get 1 point. Red gets 1 point. Blue had none, so they get goose egg. That is one way to win each round. At the end of the game, you show how many jewels you have. Here you see a silver and a gold, which would be 4 points and 3 points, 7 points for those rubies, those gems, I should say. That is another way to win points. The final sets up at the top there, the number of goods you have traded can get you up to 26 points. You can have multiple sets as well, so if you're able to collect all 4 twice, that would be 52 points, which is quite a bit of points. And then, of course, defeating the galleons will get you points, defeating cities, forts, and that's pretty much it. All right, on to the review. Hello and welcome back to Gamers Remorse. Today we play Francis freaking Drake. Ahoy! I'm a sailor. Anyway, this is a game by Eagle-Gryphon Games. It is I'd actually say it's kind of a medium Euro. It's not heavy. It looks like it's going to be a heavy Euro, but
it's physically heavy.
It's physically heavy, but beyond that, it was light and enjoyable to play, I would say. Let's talk about gameplay, shall we? Brian, what's your thoughts on gameplay?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the different tiers of gameplay. You have the kind of press your luck, get what you want, get ready to sail, and then another version of press your luck, make sure you can actually get what you want, where there's aspects of risk, not knowing how many crewmen you'll need or how many guns you'll need, or will someone beat you to the resources you want. So I really enjoyed that. I thought it was very well balanced in the preparation versus execution. Do you guys agree, disagree? What are your thoughts?
I think I kind of fell in love with the preparation phase of it, right? I mean, it's very Takedo if you've played that game, where you have to think ahead. You have to think like 30 steps ahead, because as you're walking through these shops, you're effectively saying, am I going to get supplies now, or am I going to wait for the second time for that to come around? And sometimes, your crew is all lumped together, so you have to grab one of the crews, maybe you grab them both, I don't know, but you have to think about what you're trying to do. Are you going to go after galleons? Are you going to, go after forts, or maybe just cities, or maybe you're going to focus purely on trading? You have to think so many steps ahead, but I loved that part of it. And then you actually get to carry it out and see it all work, or watch it fall apart in your hands, which happened to each of us several times. But that was also kind of fun, because it's like, okay, learn something new. Don't undervalue how much crew you need. Got it.
Yeah.
What do you think, Eric?
I really liked the fact that we discussed that we liked that we didn't have to roll to see if we beat these galleons. In the combat, it wasn't really a combat. It was just, do we have enough? Yep, okay. So I really liked that part of the gameplay as well. And, I mean, the preparation part of it before was thoroughly enjoyable, because I didn't really have much of a strategy kind of going into the preparation. I wasn't really thinking 30 steps ahead. I was just kind of thinking 3 at a time. Just, okay. So, but yeah, the gameplay was, I think, really well executed.
What also was executed very well, I think, was the style, right? You have this beautiful map down here, 4 different zones, but it's not in your face. It's very subtle, very cartographer style. And then you have these ships, right? So as you're actually sailing around each of your tokens, you can actually almost see them sailing. In fact, Brian was over here making ship noises each time, going...
The only thing he was missing was a sextant and stars.
Ooh, yeah. Also a sea shanty or two.
Oh, the sea shanties were there.
They were.
In this guy's head. Yeah. So what else did you guys think about the style? Did you like it?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. At first, before you understand the rules, it's kind of intimidating, because you see all the lines and you're like, what do those mean? And they mean nothing, but they look really cool. And yeah, I mean, I was looking at this, and like the component quality is just fantastic.
Yeah.
You can tell a lot of detail went into both the layout of the board as well as the components.
Even these little chests that you get, these little treasure chests, are kind of a fun addition. And they're just, chipboard, effectively. Real easy to put together, but just fun.
Yeah.
I will say the one thing that we kind of discussed was the board is huge. So, I mean, it's one of those games where, I mean, for us, like, if you're sitting all on one side, you kind of have to have two people get up and move. But, I mean, if it's, like, on a card table, it's easily fitted, so...
Yeah, this is not a game I would take to a coffee shop, I don't think.
No.
You just need too big of a table. But it was really enjoyable to see the giant map at the bottom. So I don't know if I'd change that. But
Oh, no.
The size lets you see the details.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And what about pacing? What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I thought it moved quite well along. And part of it is because you kind of go in order. So, I mean, you don't have to wait forever. The only time for analysis paralysis is during the opening bidding phase. But once you start the execution, it goes pretty fast. And so I thought that worked quite well.
Right. I would say the pacing is what makes this more of a medium Euro versus a light Euro. The actual gameplay isn't too bad. You know, you have a little bit of set collection, a little bit of, you know, resource allocation sort of a deal. But it's the timing, you know, going through it and actually having to think, you know, multiple rounds even ahead. Makes it a little bit more of a medium. But yeah, I thought the pacing was pretty good. At no point was I, like, disinterested. Everything was always impacting me, so...
I mean, it's a long game, but it doesn't feel like a long game. You're like, oh, wow, we just spent 90 minutes playing this.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel like, oh, man, this is taking forever.
Right. It was enjoyable throughout.
Yeah.
Learnability. So it actually wasn't bad. The rulebook was well written, easy to get through. Probably one of the best that I've seen in some time. You know, and it all made sense as long as you understood, you know, there's two phases. And in fact, you'll see the rules even before this. It's fairly simplistic in how it plays out. So the only thing to look out for is the specific abilities, particularly the informant has a couple of unique things you have to pay attention to, and the investor. But beyond that, it's fairly obvious by the icons on each of the cards. So replayability, absolutely high. I mean, I think you guys probably would be interested in playing this again sometime soon.
Yeah.
Just to defeat me.
Yeah. And we haven't played yet with 5 players.
True.
I would love to see how this works with 5 players. With 3 or 4, there's a good chance that you'll get the items and the things you want or need. But once you hit 5 players, I feel like, especially in placing, it'll become a lot more combative, if that makes sense.
Contested, yeah.
Yeah, that's a much better word than combative.
Yeah.
So players will both want the queen, but there's only one queen, or you'll be fighting over the golden hiney, or those harder to get items.
Golden Hind.
Hind. I call it the golden hiney.
It's actually an investor on the Francis Drake trip, so it's historical. It's not weird.
It's weird.
This guy. Anyway, and then theme, right? That's the last category. I thought the theme was well carried out. I actually did feel like I was preparing for a trip as I go through the shops. Other reviewers have said that, the Tokaido, you know, shopping piece of it doesn't actually feel like you're shopping. I think Miami Dice said that. A couple other people did as well. I disagree. Because if you don't think about it as physical locations, but rather time during the day, you know, you're supposed to meet with a supplier at this time. If you didn't pick up supplies, well, that's gone now, right? And maybe that one supplier only has, you know, 3 possible times or 2 possible times to meet with people. Other people took that time away from him. You can't meet with him. It makes a lot more sense if you think about it that way.
I thought it made perfect sense. Again, it's that aspect of, time and quantity. Remember, you're in the 1500s. You don't have awesome refrigeration. You don't have all that awesome stuff. So there's an aspect of a guy shows up with his salted barrel of meat, and he wants to sell it as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
He's not going to be like, I've got an appointment at 11. If someone shows up at 9, it's like, yeah, take it.
Right.
So I thought it made perfect sense. And I liked it.
There you go. So I think in general, we liked it. Let's go ahead and kick on over to the scores. Bing!
In the criminal justice system, the people are represented by 2 separate yet equally important groups. The police who investigate crime, and the district attorneys who prosecute the offenders.
Oh.
These are their stories.
I was waiting a bit. And the criminals who do the crime.
It's true.
Jace.
Oh, I botched it.
I was at work, and one of my coworkers did the what's his name thing.
Borat?
Yeah, but I no longer associate that voice with Borat because I'm listening to the audiobook for Wise Man's Fear right now, and the guy who does there's a character named Timpy, and the guy who does the audiobook Timpy sounds like Borat, and so like I now think of it as a Timpy voice
I am Timpy.
because it's like yes.
I am Timpy.
Jace.
Cheese. And these. Cheese.
And these. Doesn't he go off a cheese once and it's like bologna? And these? Cheese.
Yeah. These. Cheese. Alrighty then.
Do we want to time?
Yeah. A timer is good to have. This is such a big box.
Alright, I'm gonna put it.